You touched on it earlier about prophetic singing. I want you to share more about, discovering that God gave you that gift, but also operating in that gift.
Yeah, it started in that Presbyterian church.
Wow.
Many years ago, I would just be singing, and then the Lord would start saying things that I knew, like I wasn't just making this up. Like I'm trying to remember these words to the song, but He would be dropping things, and as I would sing it, people would respond, or the service would shift.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere would shift, and what was ordinarily a more stuffy environment became free. It's like the ceiling would just go up 2 feet, or 10 feet. And the Lord started to just like train me in his voice. I think for me, that was a moment of training, but I started to learn about prophetic worship, that God didn't just want our rehearsed songs or the songs that we had written previously, but that he would also like more spontaneous and free, free-flowing worship, and that it wasn't just what we were giving to him, but this was now almost like a portal where he could now speak to us. And it was a ministry tool.
That's good.
And I'm like, oh snap, because I just thought worship at first was just prophetic worship, or worship was just upward. But I realized, this is a portal. This is a place where he can speak to us. And
that's good.
Now when I go out before I sing, I always say, like, Lord, what do you want to hear tonight? And Lord, what do you want to say? And I think the more that we kind of move in more prophetic worship, people get what they need. I remember I can't remember where I was. I think I was in Texas, but I was in a room one day, and the Lord said, if one person walks out of here, then the sound will change. He said, what's happening in this moment will never happen again. This is a unique moment. And he helped me to start seeing each moment that we encounter the Lord and we gather together as a unique opportunity for him to speak and for him to receive something that he would not receive any other time.
That's a great
And it put like an urgency and a weight on the moment. Because, sometimes you can just be like, another day, we're just singing
out there, you're just doing it. No,
this is a unique serious moment. And how do we steward that? And I think it's through the prophetic, it's through the gifts. And we know that prophets and prophetic ministry is meant to edify and build and encourage the church.
Right.
And so when we move and operate in prophetic worship and prophetic singing, right, and even prophetic playing, we give the Holy Spirit an opportunity to build and edify his church with those that he's called to do that, right? And so there are people that are called in market, like we're all supposed to go out and preach the gospel, but there are people that are called to the church to build and edify the church in these different graces that the Lord has given the church. And I believe the prophetic is a major one, and we should be singing prophetically. No weight, no weight and burden, but it's something that I think we should pray for to move in.
I love that. I love that. That is so good. My thing is, how do you stay in that mindset? Because like you said, it's so easy to get into the routine of stuff. And I love when you just said every time I don't want to answer the question for you. So how do you stay in that mindset to understand that every moment counts?
I mean, for me, if I'm honest, I think it's something the Lord constantly reminds me of.
Good.
I wish I could say, I'm the best at remembering all the things. I'm not. I think the Lord will remind you when you're called to it. I think that God has graced me to do that. And so when I go out, I'm after that. I'm after that moment, and not like a junkie seeking a high, but I want to know, like, Lord, what do you want to say? And so it's literally like Jesus said, my sheep know my voice, and a stranger they won't follow. When you know him, you know what he likes, you get to know him. And this is actually a relationship. I know who he is, and that sounds like it's about me, but it's not. Like when you know him, you know what he likes, you know what he wants, and you want to please him. And I think in those moments, being sure of what he wants to do and that people have a need for his voice, and that he still is using people, right? That we have an opportunity to minister and bless people with what the Lord wants to say. It's like, God, I want you to use me. Y'all can listen to a YouTube video of me sing this song anytime. But there's something that happens when we sing it afresh. Even our voices, even the sound that we have that we carry in a moment, the Lord is using that in a moment. Oh, I'm about to like, come on.
Come on and worship.
But to me, that's what I'm after. I want him to have his way in the room. And I know there might be someone that needs a healing, that needs a touch, that needs encouragement, that needs to be reminded of who he is, that we need to be strengthened as a body to not give up, right? And that's what we see in the epistles. We see these the apostles writing letters to the churches to encourage them to keep with it, to stay with the faith, to remember who Jesus is. That is what we're called to do. And so in those moments, I'm chasing it. And you can ask Chan and all of them. They be sick of me because I'm like, no, we got, we have to go after what he wants to do in this moment. I will hopefully, prayerfully, I will live my life doing that for the rest of my life and glorifying him. You know,
so good. That's the purpose.